How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Weeb Lounge, and once again I am going full re on some more projects, and this one might actually be kind of neat. I'm going to enjoy it. We're going to be setting up a Bitcoin lottery rig. All right, before I get to that, just kind of walking around here, nothing's really changed since last week. I'm still going to be getting this water-cooled rig taken care of. I did get the fan controller in that I was waiting for to get the last little bit done. Now, I got these set up, good to go and everything. It's just a matter of getting the water blocks on the last four. I don't know if I'll get to that this weekend or next weekend or whatever. Not too sure, but certainly going to be getting to it soon. I actually am going to end up winding up with two of those fan control whatchamacallits, because I ordered one and it was like, oh, it was delayed for 2 weeks. And I was like, well, crap, I kind of want it sooner than that, so I ordered another one. They're cheap. They're like 10-15 bucks or whatever. And then, of course, magically, this one shows up today and the other one will be here tomorrow. So, yeah, it kind of wasted a couple of bucks. But having an extra one's not necessarily a bad thing. I can use it for other projects. Everything else has been going all good, and I think I'm going to try digging up some 3080 Ti's, the ones with the LHR, because there is a way around that now. So one of these rigs that I got sitting down here, chances are I'm going to put one of them to use. Try to get maybe 3 of the 3080 Ti's if I can dig them up. If I can do that, then I'm going to put them in a rig, have them doing their own thing, because there's a way around the LHR now, the limited hash rate. And basically, the cards, you make each card mine 2 different algorithms at the same time. So, you know, you do one algorithm and the LHR kicks in and you only get half the results, right? Well, if you have 2 algorithms going in and each one only gets half, well, you're kind of getting the full thing, half and half full, right? That's a nice little workaround. But here's what's going to go on as soon as these things actually show up or whatever. I'm doing a Raspberry Pi setup, and I'm going to build a little Bitcoin node, right? Now, I got myself a Raspberry Pi 4 Model B, 8 gigabytes of RAM. This is pretty much the newest version of this thing. And these tiny little things, I messed with them once before, a long time ago. And these things they're neat. There's so much you can do to them. I mean, you can just turn it into a full computer. You can turn it into a home theater PC, a retro Pi, play a whole bunch of retro games on it, whatever. But I'm going kind of crazy stupid on this. I have a custom 3D printed case for this thing coming, but what I didn't realize is that when I ordered it, it ships from Australia. Yeah. So if and when it gets here, who the heck knows? The seller has some really good reputation behind them, but yeah, it's going to be a while. So what am I going to do? Raspberry Pi 4, 8 gigabytes. This is a Geek Worm, like this little add-on. The Pi basically sits on top of it, and it lets me use an mSATA, which is this guy. mSATA, 1 terabyte mSATA, 6 gigabytes per second. This is basically where, you know, the Bitcoin node is going to be stored on, right? I think it's Bitcoin Core that I'm going to be using or whatever, but I got some learning to do still, because here's the deal. Like, on the internet, you can go ahead and search eBay or any place else for these stupid little Bitcoin lottery machines, right? It's basically a Raspberry Pi in a stupid little case with a tiny, tiny little LCD screen on it, and it's got a USB stick sticking into it, and that USB stick is designed to mine Bitcoin, okay? Very, very low hash rate on the thing, and your chances of ever finding anything with it is virtually 0. But it's a fun little thing to sit there, because who knows, maybe I might hit it and get a ridiculous amount, right? Well, I'm taking it to a stupid degree, all right? Now, we got this stuff. I got a special cooler for it. This is going to, you know, keep that Raspberry Pi nice and cool, because, yes, you have to cool them. And I got the SD card, all the usual stuff, but I also got a couple of neat little components here. I got this. It's a monitor stand, right? This is just a simple monitor stand. I can actually fold this flat. So if I want to have this completely flat and where I just look straight down on the monitor, or however I want to position it, it's all good. But I put a quick release on it. Now you got this little guy here, you know, I could just throw something on there and quick release, right? Well, why the heck would I want to do that? Because of this. Okay, this is basically a 1080p portable touchscreen. You know, think of it like a really, really big tablet, but not quite so friendly. On the back here, we have DVI, VGA, HDMI, a couple of different inputs and such. So I got this because it'll be really handy with all these rigs I have around. You know, some of them use DVI, some of them have some VGA, most of them have HDMI, but now I finally got a little something I can take around, you know, put it on this or whatever, and it'd be all good. Like, you know, this can be a little tricky sometimes here, but let me see if I can slide it on. Can I get it on there? Hey, look. And there you go. Get yourself with just a regular monitor, and it's also a touchscreen. I haven't even turned this thing on yet. You can tell I got the protective film still on it. But we'll definitely get there. So Raspberry Pi setup, and you know, most people when they do these Bitcoin lottery machines, like I said, it's a little USB stick. Tiny little thing that mines away, doesn't do nothing, takes like 5 watts of power. I went stupid, okay? I might have mentioned in a previous video that I bought an Antminer S9. Okay, this thing's like 13.4 terahash, eats up 1,350 watts or something like that. And, you know, if I set it to a mining pool, it can make a little over $5 a day or so. You know, something around there, right? I'm putting it on this. Yep, I'm putting it on the Bitcoin lottery machine. Now, chances of me finding a block at any point in time is still virtually none. But I'm going to have to guess, you know, I'm going to have a much better chance than a little tiny USB stick because I'm going to have a full freaking ASIC. And, you know, it's going to be a fun little project. I'm doing this, like I mentioned in the other video, I'm doing this to learn. That's the whole point of all of this. I want to learn, I want to relearn, and experiment a little bit. Have some fun with it. Now, how long I'm going to keep that Bitcoin lottery thing going really all depends, because the power from that ASIC is basically going to cost me about $4 or $5 a day just to run the damn thing. So it's like going to the gas station and buying a scratchy ticket every once in a while and hoping, right? Just so, I don't know. Yeah, it's $5 a day. It's not that big of a deal, but I want to make sure I have other stuff to help it out. And I'm also thinking of some solar stuff, some solar power. Solar power panels, something or whatever. It's in the back of my head. It's nothing for sure yet. But what I kind of want to do is find a way to get enough solar powers to power the ASIC and the Bitcoin lottery machine so that it doesn't cost me anything to run it, except for the upfront cost. And, you know, granted, in a way, that's kind of a waste of money. I don't recommend anybody doing it. But I'm thinking about doing it because, once again, learning process. Sometimes spending money on stupid stuff is worth it for the learning process. And the solar panels definitely would not go to waste, because if I decide not to do the Bitcoin lottery machine anymore, I can simply convert that over to the house or whatever the heck it is I'm going to try to do, right? Because I'm actually going to get big old panels. I'm not going to get like itty bitties because it's just not enough power to do it. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. You guys got the power to do that, that's for sure. And man, I'm still scratching my head a little bit. It's like, where do I expand? Where do I go? I need to figure out my next steps, because, you know, when I first started this project a long time ago, and if you look at some of the earliest videos on this, you know, it's definitely grown since then. But like I've always told myself, once I get into this, it has to grow, and it has to keep growing. It does not stop. That was kind of like my thing. We go, we keep going, and we just do not stop, as long as we can make a profit off of it. And that's kind of like the whole thing, because, you know, this is my income right here, and we have to keep going, we have to keep pushing, and hopefully everything turns out all right. And who knows, I might just get lucky for once and find a whole Bitcoin block by myself. And if that happens, things are going to explode very quickly, because those funds are going to be used almost immediately to get like a shed, a little piece of land. I mean, seriously, if I discovered a whole Bitcoin block or whatever, I pretty much already have it planned and spent if that should ever happen. It just basically speeds up my plans. Nothing terribly hopeful there, right? All right, well, I hope you guys already like, share, and subscribe like I mentioned earlier, and we will see you in the next video.